Hello and welcome to the latest edition of the LHC London and South East Framework Series webinar. My name is Ethan James and I am the Senior Client Support Manager for the South East of England. For those of you that don't know, for the last few months, LHC have been posting a series of webinars supplying an overview of each and one of our framework agreements. In this episode, I will focus on our newly launched framework, which is our Energy Efficiency Consultancy Services. I'll provide you with an outline of what is covered as well as going over the companies which are appointed. At the end of this presentation, you will be able to find contact details for each member of the team, so if you have any inquiries about this framework or any others, please feel free to contact us. So I'll begin by introducing the framework. This framework, alongside the impending Energy Efficiency Contractors-led framework, which is due to launch later this year, forms part of LHC's innovative strategy to help combat climate change and help resolve the climate emergency. We aim to support the UK government efforts to build a net zero greenhouse gas emission economy by providing energy efficient measures across public sector buildings. This tender was carried out in strict accordance with the EU Procurement Directive and UK public sector procurement rules. This framework is now live, launching on the 1st of June of 2020. Like our other framework agreements, it will run for 4 years, where it is due to expire on 31st of May 2024. So, who is eligible to access this framework? Well, the general rule of thumb is that if you're a public sector organisation, you are able to access this agreement. Public sector organisations that may use this framework typically include local authorities, housing associations, health authorities, public funded schools, universities or any other education establishment, and blue light organisations. This is not a definitive list. However, if you're unsure if your organisation fits within any of these, please contact us and we will provide you with more information. Now I will share the scope of this framework agreement. As a minimum, the companies that applied for this framework were required to have the capability and experience to provide consultancy services for delivery of the following 21 energy efficiency measures, which form as part of our key services on our larger contractors framework, which is due to launch later this year. In terms of the core services required under this framework, appointed companies will be able to provide the following services: building energy management services, which may be building energy policy and strategy development or energy surveys and audits. Secondly, building energy certificates. Thirdly, asset management and project specification. So this may be energy stock condition surveys and reports. And finally, project management services, which may include project manager, clerk of works, health and safety, and principal design duties. When we went to the open market to tender for this framework, 3 contract notices were published for England, Scotland and Wales. We have provided regional framework lots, which are structured into 8 broken down regions. 3 of those are included within London and the South East, which are London, the South East, and Home and Counties and East of England, which are a combined lot. Companies were evaluated on a 40% price and 60% quality criteria, where the most economically advantageous tender submissions were awarded. Now I will provide you a snapshot of those contractors that are appointed. As you can see here on your screen, there are 4 consultants that are appointed to this framework agreement. They are Curry and Brown, GEP Environmental, Dries and Sommer, and Riepke. There are 2 call-off options through the LHC framework. Firstly, there's mini competition. Mini competition is when you invite all capable contractors to partake in the tender process. We would run an expression of interest for you at this point to establish those who are interested. Secondly, there is a direct award option. Direct award procedure is usually allowed for the highest ranked company on that framework, whether it be price, quality, or a combined value for money. course, the weightings can be adjusted to your own preference. We will be able to take that through with you when you come to that position. In terms of direct award, there is also an option to make that direct award to a company if you have a justifiable reason. However, again, please speak to us if you have a query about this. On your screen, you will see a simple flowchart of how to access the LHC framework from its starting point through to its completion. You will start by registering a project by completing a form which summarises your procurement and project requirements. We would then assign you a unique project number, which is important as it provides an auditable trail to the framework. Depending on whether it's a mini competition or direct award, we would run an expression of interest with our appointed companies within your chosen lot. We would allow 5 days to run this procedure, and at the end of it, we would provide you with the results. From there, you are free to issue your tender documentation by your own chosen platform directly to those companies. Once they have sent their final submissions to you, you would then evaluate them. We would be able to help you at this stage by conducting a price verification from leading company and validating that their prices are compliant against their framework agreed maximum rates. Should you be happy with this, you would then make the award using your own contract of choice. Once the project is closed to starting on site, our dedicated technical support manager, Timothy Lee Davis, will be able to help monitor the performance of the appointed company throughout the life cycle of the project. He can attend site visits and project review meetings to ensure KPIs are met. Next, we will look at our frameworks in action, where I will outline some of the advantages of accessing an LHC framework. We can assure you that the quick project start negate the need to go through a long overdue framework process. That can take anywhere between 9 to 12 months. As I've set out in the previous slides, you're able to enter a mini competition or direct award through leading companies a lot quicker than this, which is usually a 4-week submission for a mini competition process. You can also be assured that all of the companies on our frameworks are maintaining the highest quality of standards for their business performance management systems and are all in accordance with ISO 9001. As market leaders, we are able to support you by providing advice on latest design and regulatory guidance. We can also pull in the appointed companies to help with this. Service level guarantee. Through the LHC FAC1, all companies on our framework are required to maintain a minimum service level agreement during their appointment through the framework and any projects that are appointed to. Ultimately, a particular client dictates what their service is required, but you can fall back on ours if they are not performing to your standard. Companies appointed to our framework have gone through a competitive procedure to be on the framework. These prices can then be more competitive at an individual call-off stage as they are further reduced. You can be assured that a company will never exceed a ceiling rate they supply to us through the framework agreement rates. Ongoing project support, as mentioned earlier, is important to LHC and our commitment to better buildings and homes. We recognise that it is important that not just procurement stage, but also throughout the entire life cycle of the project. Therefore, we have dedicated support staff who is able to work closely with you from the start of the procurement to the end of the project. Financial gains can also be made through tendering our frameworks as well as through our membership scheme. As a not-for-profit organisation, we provide our members with an annual rebate based on their spend through our frameworks within a financial year. There are 2 levels of membership. Firstly, there's constituent, and secondly, associate membership. Both have their own unique terms and conditions. As an even further commitment to enhancing the local community, LHC work closely with our client to channel the rebate into local benefit funds, whether to charities or socially orientated businesses. Last year, we worked with a number of companies to help disadvantaged youths, as well as helping local community food poverty needs. To keep up to date with these, please follow our social media channels. Now that brings us to the end of the presentation, where I'll be sharing the contact details of the team. If you have any other questions about the Energy Efficiency Consultancy Framework or any of our other frameworks from our suite, please contact your relevant client support manager. You have Ian Davis and myself who cover the South East region, whilst you have Bobby Singh in the London area. Jennifer Castle is our regional manager for both areas, who looks after a more strategic point of view. For any technical support, please contact Timothy Lee Davis. Thank you for watching this latest episode, and I hope you found it useful. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to our social media channels. Take care.